happy, not so happy Tuesday. I want to just be honest about the journey that I've been on for the last, really the last year of my life, but a couple weeks ago now, almost 2 weeks ago, I made a post asking for prayer, asking for a miracle. I want to just explain where that came from. So back when Shaylin died in August, I went from being okay with just having one child to, after her funeral, just having this deep longing and desire for another child. And I felt like that desire came from God, and I started just like getting excited and planning, gosh, when would I want to get pregnant? Oh, I would love to get pregnant in January so that, by Shaylin's birthday, I would know that I'm pregnant, and then I could share that with the world, and then we would have an October baby, and October just seems like the perfect month to have a baby. So I began just like praying and asking God for conception in January. Conception. I had a IUD, and I had that removed and immediately started trying, but then I conceived in January, and I found out that I was pregnant the week before Valentine's Day and got to tell DJ and Faith on Valentine's Day. And then just a few days later, 3 days later, was Shaylin's birthday, and which, it was a really hard day. But knowing that I got to share with our family about, this new life that we get to, look forward to, and it just turned that day of like mourning into a day of celebration, because I got to share with the family that new life was coming, and like this promise of a baby was coming. So then 2 weeks ago today, actually, I woke up with some cramping and bleeding, and the bleeding increased, and I called my doctor, and my first reaction was fear. And I called my mom, asked her to pray for me, called my doctor. The doctor wasn't too concerned about it, and they ordered me a blood test, and that I had to take 48 hours apart. And during those 48 hours, the bleeding continued to increase, and that's when I put out that post of just wanting a miracle. And I found some testimonies of miscarriages that God just healed and reversed, and they so encouraged me to believe God for this miracle that I wanted so badly. So I got every woman that I could think of that would stand in faith with me on this miracle and asked them to pray for me. I started the text chain. I got prayer from people at my church. I got prayer from one of the pastors at Celebration at Radiant, and she spoke about miracles and prayed over everybody, and then she prayed over me specifically in the hallway. And I just invited a lot of people in faith, just like hoping and just like believing like, God, you can do this huge miracle, and it's going to glorify you, and we're going to have this baby. And so like I kept feeling it on my heart to name the baby Hope, not knowing what the gender is, but Faith has been wanting a baby sister so badly, and she's like, I already know it's a girl. I know it's a girl. I've been praying for a girl. And she prays over the baby every single day, and she like puts her little hands over my belly and prays for the baby, and she always calls it a she. So I'm assuming it's a girl, so we named the baby Hope. And then so literally just a few hours before I'm supposed to go do makeup on Christine Kane, I get a call from my doctor's office, and they tell me your blood results are in, and it does appear that you are having a miscarriage. And I just asked them, like, is there any chance like that I will have a heartbeat? And she was like, I haven't seen it before, but there's always, anything can happen. And so I just held on to that, and I just held on to hope that, like, okay, like, this is a God only miracle, like, only God can do this. And so I continued over the next week and a half just believing and praying, and I bled for I bled for 6 days, so almost a week, and but I still just never gave up hope, because I just would feel so encouraged by the amount of people praying for me and the amount of just testimonies that I was able to find of God healing them and reversing their miscarriage. And so I believed he would do it for me. And so anyway, yesterday, fast forward, we went to the doctor, and they did a sonogram, and there was no heartbeat. And it was really, really painful. And I'm really sad. I feel like, I'm asking all the questions, like, why, God? Like, I asked for something like that is so big, and I know that you can do it. And so I'm really sad. I'm really disappointed. It just feels so unfair to put this, desire in my heart, and like to answer the prayer of, pregnancy, and then tell the whole family, and my daughter, and so excited, and then to just have that stripped away in such a awful way. And so I'm struggling. So I didn't get the miracle that I was hoping for, but I'm still trusting that God is going to use my story to glorify his name. And my story's not over yet, and I still believe in a God of miracles, and I still trust in his plan, and that it's better than my own. A lot of people want to say the right things, and it actually comes off as it just comes off as the wrong thing. So please don't feel a need to respond to this. I know that miscarriages happen all the time. They're so common, but man, they are painful, so painful. And so moving forward, I'm just asking for prayer that God does redeem this. I know that he will, but that we will, just see his mighty hand on our lives. And I know that we'll get to meet baby Hope in heaven one day, and I can't wait for that day. She's with her Aunt Shaylin, and yeah, just now I'm praying for healing and that the grieving process is hopefully short. And anyway, that is my story, and it's not finished yet. And God is still a good God, and He's still a good Father. And even though this doesn't feel good, and it's one of the most painful things I've ever experienced, He knows everything that I don't, and He's going to, I believe that He'll reward my just faith in Him. And yeah, so that's it. God bless you all. For everybody that prayed, gosh, I can't even tell you how much that meant to me. Everybody that stood in faith with me. I feel so blessed by that. So yeah, that is it. Ending video now.